Good evening, everyone. I'd like to introduce myself as Grant Spencer, the chair of the Chamber Board. Like to welcome everyone from your home, office, or wherever you may be. These are different times for all of us and wish you guys were here with us. But we will get through this, through these years and time. I'd like to start off introducing our board. Vice Chair Kate Hosier, Secretary Mary Farrell, Kim Wise from the City of South Haven, Glenn Coles from the UPS store, Brad Adamson from the South Haven's Farmers Market, Liz Woods from the Sweet Haven, and Derek Babcock from Bangor Fire Department. And then also we have Treasurer Ken Overholzer, who will be our next guest up. But first off, I'd like to thank Kathy for everything that she has done through these times, keeping up with everything, website, putting in many hours. She's been working probably 80 hours a week for us, and we really thank that, Kathy, for doing everything you do. And then also Brandy. Brandy puts in a lot of time, as much as she can, juggling her schedule and everything with kids and things, as we know, is very tough. So thank you, Brandy, for hanging with us, staying in there, and continue to support Kathy and being with us. So. Also, I'd like to thank all of our members. Thank you for staying with us. It's been very tough times as you guys are trying to run your businesses and doing your things with employees and all the stuff that we have to go through nowadays. So thank you again for staying with us. Hope to see you soon. We do have an ABO coming up this month. Hopefully everyone can make it. Please sign up, and we'll see you there. We'll be outdoors, rain or shine. So pack your raincoat, winter coat maybe, never know. So hope to see everyone out there at the beaches this month. I'm not sure the date. October 22nd. Thank you, Kathy. So hopefully we see everyone there, whoever can make it. Next up, Ken, Treasurer's report, please.
Good evening, everybody. So I get the pleasure of letting you know that you've got an amazing chamber that you're part of, and Kathy does an amazing job day after day, year after year with taking care of all of our books, being a great steward of our money. So the chamber is dedicated to operating in a fiscal, sound, and responsible manner. We continue to employ best practices and auditing procedures to ensure that we are good stewards of our members' investments. 2019, our total assets started at $259,656, and by year-end 2019, our ending assets climbed to $271,315. The Chamber continues to hold no long-term debt throughout this process as well. Again, we appreciate each and every one of you staying on as members, and we hope for a good wrap-up of this year for 2020 and a great next year. Kathy.
I make a motion that we not have a treasurer's report next year. And I second it too. I'm not looking forward to that. And also, Grant, I'm glad this is recorded because your positive comments I can use next year too. Oh man. And so if you're at home and you're torn between Chamber of Commerce or Wheel of Fortune, you know, you can watch the Wheel of Fortune 6 nights a week. So join us. We're a lot of fun. Wish you could all be here. It would be great to have you here. We've got amazing food. Day-old cookies. Hey, budgeting, you know, we're really watching the budget. But we have water and cookies. So see what you're missing? And even Liz Wood, I know she's home in her pajamas. She told me she would be. So she's one of our board members that is not here tonight. We've got people actually watching us tonight from all over. We've got Steve and Joe Earls are in Austin, Texas. That's a fun town. I had a good time there a few years ago. Carl Kelch and Lori, his wife, are in Florida. We've got some people in North Carolina. We've got folks in Lansing. We've got them in Sterling Heights tonight. So we've got a lot of people watching us here and there. It's fun to be able to at least reach out. You can't say you couldn't make it this year because, You know, most people have a smartphone. So we're glad everyone can join us anyway. And it's wonderful to have the people right here in the auditorium. We've got about 30 people and humans. It's just so fun to see people. So anyway, we're going to get started here. We've got some things to go over. I want to first of all thank, we've got LifeBridge Church has been wonderful. You probably thought I was going to sing when you saw the musical equipment behind me, but the band left, or otherwise I would start in. But thank you, LifeBridge Church. Andre and Mike and Mylan Jr. have been our tech team for all of this. They've put it together and made sure the videos were produced and loaded, and I could never have done that, and anyone who's worked with me around a computer knows that's exactly true. So thank you so much. And, you know, by the way, Pastor Mylan of LifeBridge Church, it might be nice for you to know, they pray for our businesses all the time. They pray that you'll have safety and that your customers will be safe. They pray for your success. So they just pray that you have wisdom in the operation of your business. So I think that might mean something to some of you because it's kind of reassuring. We've had a tough year, so that's great. Tom Renner is my paparazzi. I appreciate Tom Renner following us around. He's so good about taking pictures for us, and tonight he's going to take some photos of our winners later, so you'll be able to see those posted after a bit. I also want to thank our ambassadors. We have a record number of ambassadors this year, 22 altogether, and they're the ones we call on when we need help with anything, and they're just so willing. We also have monthly meetings. Okay, meetings. We've been kicked out of some really nice places. We aren't allowed to go. Okay, I won't say anymore. Anyway, that's probably Linda Vanderzee's fault, but again, I'm not going into detail. So our ambassador numbers have grown, probably because they hear us laughing wherever we go. So we work hard, but we play even harder. So we have a good time. I want to thank State Representative Beth Griffin for being here tonight, and she's going to join us after a while when we hand out some really special awards. And at the very end, we're going to do a drawing. So this fishbowl is everyone's name who planned on being here tonight. And we have I didn't bring it, but it's a 58-inch, huge, giant smart TV, which means I wouldn't be able to work it. So I hope someone here can win it. And you have to pick it up because I'm not delivering it, okay? Our sponsors. This year, more than ever, I just greatly appreciate every one of our sponsors because not having the big bash that we usually do, you know, we wanted to really recognize each one of our sponsors. It just meant more than it ever has because we needed it this year more than we ever have too. So first, our title sponsor is Consumers Credit Union, and they've put together a little video of some of the businesses locally that they've been able to help throughout this year, this pandemic, with some of the support mechanisms that they've had. So let's take a look at that video.
The Paycheck Protection Program is part of our relief package that Congress passed because of the COVID crisis. The relief package was designed to assist businesses with sustaining their payrolls through the unprecedented economic turmoil caused by the pandemic.
Our mission is really to serve business owners that derive their livelihood from their business. We love to get in with them and help them grow their businesses. I've got a terrific team out there of 7 basically commercial lenders, and this team is very dynamic. Even through the PPP process, they were given the task to actually reach out to our business members and encourage them to apply for the PPP loans because we felt strongly that it was in their best interest to apply and receive funding to help them through the pandemic crisis.
As a proud employee of Consumers Credit Union, it was my pleasure to assist a lot of our companies here in town to weather the storm through the COVID. We were able to support great companies like the UPS store downtown owned by Jackie Coles and Glenn Coles. We were able to help another great pillar of the community, Bob's Processing, which allowed them to add additional staff in order to help serve the community with additional products. Another company that weathered the storm was Autumn Design. Julie had just moved into a new location. Through this process, we were able to help her cover her employees' salaries and keep her business going. Another amazing company in town is Confidential Services. We were able to assist them, which allowed them to bring on more employees to do background checks. That not only supported individuals within our community, their background checks support the nuclear power plants throughout the U.S.
Our experience with this PPP program, what it showed me is it reaffirms something I knew. We deliver great solutions to members, both personal and business members. Our team has the grit. When things aren't easy, they come together, they find solutions, and they find a way to get it done. And I'm very proud of how we served our membership and 4,500 jobs that we helped save in our West Michigan communities.
I'm an employee of Consumers Credit Union, but I'm also a member of this community. And it makes me proud that I've been able to support these various companies through these trying times.
So again, we want to thank Consumers Credit Union for being our title sponsor. We also want to thank Bloomingdale Communications. They were our silver sponsor, and they're Van Buren's leader in technology and internet services. Farron's Metalworks is also a silver sponsor, and if you've been around town and noticed some beautiful fences or railings, some scroll work on certain buildings, it's probably from Farron's Metalworks. They do a great job. He's very artistic, but does some really unique things. Also, Hart Insurance, serving from the lakeshore to the countryside for over 114 years. Tom Rummel was on our board. I just never knew he was that old. They're a bronze sponsor, and we really appreciate them. Entergy, Palisades Nuclear Power Plant. We appreciate Nick and Mick, Nick Culp and Mick Mida. I don't know if, I don't think Mick is here tonight. I thought he might be, I wasn't sure. Spencer Manufacturing, you met Grant Spencer, and family-owned business since 1986, building custom fire and rescue apparatus. So we really appreciate that company being in our community. Abbenmarsh, a visionary design service for over 40 years, also a bronze sponsor. And not last, but Glenn Cowles at the UPS store is our video sponsor. And you'll see a video in just a bit that we have put together. It'll be a lot of fun. So just this, usually each year at our annual dinner, we recap the year before. And we recognize some of our special businesses and individuals who have contributed to making our community prosperous. And I'll tell you what, there's never been a year when I've been more excited to reflect on last year than this one. I'd rather just continue to bask in our success from last year for a long time, because it's kind of fun. I'll still be doing that next year. But we're really grateful at the Chamber for the collaborative spirit that we've had, and it allows us to accomplish some pretty big things in our community. And this means that we allow or enjoy partnerships with our city leaders, with over 90 local nonprofit organizations, and with stakeholders throughout our region. And an example of that is the Michigan Maritime Museum, for example. It's expertly led by Executive Director Patty Reinert and their board president, Brian Bosgraf. And they spent a lot of time in 2019 with acquisition efforts to be able to purchase the adjoining property, which is the Jensen family property. And last week, in a really nasty, right, Tom? Nasty, windy, rainy, cold afternoon, it was a special historic event. We were able to watch them present the check to the Jensen family, and that land has now been preserved for generations to come in our community, and it was really a neat event. We didn't even care about the weather. So that kind of process takes collaboration, and we're seeing that in our community. Now, just because the check was handed over doesn't mean they aren't still raising money, so keep that in mind. The Van Buren South Haven Convention and Visitor Bureau, under the expert leadership of Scott Reinert and his awesome staff, Lori Krieger and Jen and Donna, we just love them so much. Amanda, we enjoy working with them on many projects. But recently, and by the way, they're having a watch party tonight, so they're having a charcuterie board and some adult beverages, and by now Ava, the cat, is probably walking through the middle of the charcuterie board. So they have a office cat. Anyway, Scott led a plan, or he just kind of led an organizational procedure so that we could have South Haven designated as a Pure Michigan Trail Town, which was a pretty neat thing. And the whole hope of that was to foster additional tourism, and especially to bring light to a special trail that goes from South Haven to Port Huron. And so last year, there was a dedication ceremony, again, in a nasty it was raining sideways. We were in a tent down by the marina, and I don't think, we were all hanging onto the tent so it wouldn't blow away. But then they had a group of people who did the ride from South Haven to Port Huron. So these are the kinds of projects that we can all work together to accomplish. Tonight, we're just happy to congratulate our new city manager, Kate Hosier, and she's over here. And we're not sure, she's got herself a project, but we have a lot of faith in her ability to valiantly lead our city through some of its greatest challenges that we've experienced in many years. And we just believe she has the grit and the wisdom to accomplish that. So we're just tickled to have her as our new city manager. And our city has led a lot of collaborative efforts just recently to be able to put together some solutions for affordable housing. We felt for a long time as a chamber, this has been on our radar, that we felt there was a missing middle, as they say. And that means that we felt businesses were limited as to being able to recruit new people because the housing options were pretty difficult. So Kate has been working really hard with a group of people, a focus group, and we really do expect to see this come to fruition really quickly. And this is going to be a boon for our local businesses to be able to recruit and to offer that these folks can find suitable housing. 2019 was a year of records. We just had a great year, and that's why I want to bask in that for a long time. But we had our 9th consecutive record-breaking year. We were proud to add 38 new members to our membership, and that represents new businesses in many cases, which means that South Haven is indeed growing in a positive way. And so we ended the year at 427 members. Remember festivals and events. Well, Icebreaker Festival was the beginning of our 2019, and we really had a lot of fun. That event brought over 15,000 people to our community, and those people enjoyed 52 ice sculptures. They tasted chili at 27 competitors. They flung hundreds of fish. We had the frozen fish fling, and that was a great fundraiser for the National Blueberry Festival. They bought 900 and some s'more kits and roasted s'mores, and that meant the Boy Scouts were making some good money that day. And there were probably 65 cardboard sleds that went down the hill, including one of our favorites was the Landers Hardware hammer, a giant hammer that actually went about 2 feet down the hill before it fell over. It was a little top heavy. Anyway, the purpose of putting together events like this on behalf of the Chamber is simply that we understand that this is an event in the winter, in the middle of a dismal winter, that can generate some important revenue that is able to fund our local merchants and businesses until things start to pick up again. And it also really helps our local nonprofit organizations. Our two craft fairs brought a total of 365 vendors collectively, and over 15,000 attendants between the two shows. And this too means that they're staying in our local lodging facilities. They're enjoying our shopping and dining and buying gas and again, funneling revenue into our community and helping the chamber as well. We missed having those this year a lot. So anyway, we'll hope we can do that next year. Last year in 2019, the Youth in Business program began that was launched to bring local high school students into an awareness of entrepreneurism. Very important. The students had to create a business, name the business, create a logo, write a business plan, put together a marketing outline, and then they displayed their business at our community expo. And it was really neat to see them interact with the public and explain their businesses to them. And the judges awarded the top 3 students with some pretty significant cash awards. So that was a really neat program for them. Our Chamber Think Local efforts continued. We had our community expo. We had over 75 businesses represented to showcase their products and services. But we also continued with our new neighbors welcome packets. We mailed 1,153 packets to anyone moving into our area within a 50-mile radius. And that's to introduce them to our local businesses and local activities and commerce. So that's why we do that. Then at our annual summit, we welcomed Bob Sutherland. He's the CEO and founder of Cherry Republic near Traverse City in Glen Arbor. And he did a great job for our summit and really was motivational for our businesses and attendance. And we know that none of this could be accomplished without the wisdom and direction from our 9-member volunteer board of directors. And I just personally appreciate every one of them. They're very supportive and they allow me the autonomy to do what needs to be done, and they step in and help when we need that as well, and I really appreciate it. And again, I'll thank Brandy Key, our community liaison. She's been a big help to me, and her cheerful disposition and her attention to detail has been tremendous. I just have to believe that next year when we do meet and we don't do the treasurer's report, I think that I think by then we're going to have some really powerful stories of victory. I think we're going to hear some stories about businesses who were able to retool. I don't even like the word pivot because I'm hearing it way too much lately, but pivot their business model and even find ways to stay solvent in these, I know, unprecedented times. I said I wouldn't say that. So again, I just encourage all of our businesses to just stay strong. But what I really want to say is that from the onset of COVID, we have worked tirelessly to provide timely information. And sometimes a grant will come along and you'll literally have hours to fill out the forms and get it sent in, because when the money's gone, it's gone. So we've really worked hard to get that information out to our members as quickly as we can. And there have been information on loan programs, on PPE, information, the executive orders from the governor's office, all 184, or is there more, Beth? Are we capped at 184 so far? I think so. But, you know, that means translating it for people to know, what does it mean? You're trying to interpret what this all means. So we've worked hard. We've provided hundreds of webinars and Zoom meetings and support mechanisms to help our businesses. And so what I'm going to say to our businesses tonight is read the newsletter. Please read your newsletter. And also be checking the business resources page on our website, because that's where that information is so quickly. We just want to make sure that you get all the support that you possibly can. And I almost feel like this year the Chamber's had more to do than ever before, and we're happy to be there for you. So while we're reflecting on last year, we thought it'd be fun if we just showed you a a video of the last 9 years of some of our annual dinners. We've always had a lot of fun at those. So let's just take a look at a trip down memory lane. We do know how to have fun. Darn it, I missed that. We had a good time all those years. Well, we've got some fun times right now. We're going to hand out some really important awards. So right now I'm going to have Vanessa Zesch, one of our ambassadors, come up, and she's going to present the first award on behalf of Apple Insurance. They are one of our sponsors tonight and couldn't be here. Lori Willett and her staff were busy with something else and couldn't make it. But you've probably noticed Safety Sammy around town. They do a lot of programs for schools to help kids learn safety procedures. And they also always do an ice sculpture that has a big apple with Safety Sammy on top of it. So Vanessa, take it away.
So Dave McCarty first learned of mead in the game of Dungeons and Dragons. He researched it as a young man by going to the library using the card catalog and finding a recipe. Obviously, this was before you could Google something. The recipe was apparently incomplete, so he kept working with mead, honing his craft. His unique honey-based beverage uses its specially developed recipe, and the mead is aged in a barrel for a year using no sulfites. Within only 10 years of retiring, he knew he needed a project to keep him out of his wife's hair, and so he began the process of purchasing a former antique store in downtown Bangor, and his business, Great Mead Hall, opened in January of 2019. Dave is the sole owner, making it a veteran-owned business. The quaint Bangor Meadery offers a large tasting room where you can sample at least 13 meads, sometimes more, and you can also purchase bottles of mead. Just talking with Dave McCarty while tasting his unique craft mead makes it a great experience.
All right, I'm going to introduce a former board chair and the owner of Landers Hardware and Wolverine Ace Hardware. They're both converted just recently to Ace Hardwares, and we're so glad. We love their stores now. We did before, now we really do. So Doug Landers, if you would come up and present the next award.
Thank you, Kathy. And my goodness, it's nice to see all your smiling faces staring at me through your computer monitors this evening. So thanks for being here, even though I can't quite see all of you, but I hope all of you can see me, because I have this distinct honor and privilege to present the award for the Manufacturer of the Year. Nearly 20 years ago, the founder and president of Pro Powder Incorporated used his extensive experience and paint industry knowledge to build his company into one of the area's premier powder coaters. For nearly 20 years, he has remained employee-focused, offering local residents jobs in positive environment. His leadership goes above and beyond for his employees, allowing them direct communication with him and offering a sense of security, training, and support. He has even been known to assist employees in times of hardship within their families, whether providing school supplies, transportation, household items, or other needs. Carl Kelch and his wife Patricia believe that giving back to the community is important, supporting local causes that they find in need. These actions are never done for personal recognition, but out of a sincere love and concern for the employees and the community. The goal Carl Kelch has for Pro Powder is to expand to a second shift, providing more job opportunities for our community and continuing to provide high-quality powder coating applications for the agricultural, automotive, landscaping, and furniture industry, as well as government contracts. We proudly recognize our Manufacturer of the Year, Pro Powder Incorporated. Congratulations. Accepting on behalf of Carl is Lori Boris.
Okay, I have to just give you a disclaimer because I've been known to start rumors before, but I didn't really mean to start one tonight. The Lori that just accepted the award on behalf of Pro Powder is not Carl's wife. Carl is in Florida with his wife, Patricia. Lori is here. So I said Carl and Lori Kelch, and that was a rumor. So please forgive me. Lori, I'm really sorry. Okay, and they're watching, and so that's just great. Oh, beautiful. Well, I'd like to introduce Chrissy Garland, and Chrissy worked for us at the Chamber for 6 years, and we had a lot of fun. But what happened is that so Sandy Cagle, who had been a really good friend of ours at the Chamber, recruited out from under us and took Chrissy. And so now Chrissy is the vice president and loan originator at South Haven Banking Center, a division of Sturgis Bank. So Chrissy, actually after Chrissy left, we got a digital sign because Chrissy, in the pictures we showed, there was Chrissy holding a stick with a lot of duct tape on it. And that's what she used to use to climb up the snowbank and change the letters on our sign. So when Sandy stole her out from under us, then we bought a really nice digital sign so we can just sit in the office and type in what we needed to say.
Service above self is the motto of the Rotary Club of South Haven since it began in our community in 1956. In a typical year, the Rotarians donate an estimated $40,000 to the community charitable causes. 2019 was one that South Haven Rotarians can be very proud of. Rotary funded a $5,000 installation of fire detection system at the Scott Club. Earlier, a similar initiative funded a fire detection system at the Historical Association of South Haven. 4 new scholarships totaling $5,000 were created for South Haven High School graduates. This is in addition to the decades-long support of Lake Michigan College South Haven campus and South Haven Public Schools Foundation, now totaling nearly $200,000. Rotarians responded to a Martin Luther King Day appeal for laundry detergent by donating nearly 500 containers. South Haven Rotary was lead contributor to the City of South Haven to build the new splash pad, providing $13,500. Rotarians donated to We Care in the Name of Christ for its utility assistance program, which another $2,000 being donated through the district organization of Rotary. These impressive contributions represent the dedication to the community on behalf of all South Haven Rotarians, and our community is better because of their efforts.
Those that don't know what's going on, Mark is too modest. I'm receiving the award as the current president. Mark did all the hard work.
This next award is sponsored by Taste, and Heidi is here tonight, Heidi Gesikowski. Heidi and Joel have just put their heart and soul into their business, and they've made a dining experience for us here in South Haven that's really unparalleled. And they're even famous. They were on Under the Radar at least once, maybe twice. Okay, once. Yeah, rerun. Oh, that's true. You'll see it on a rerun several times, I'm sure. That's true. But Heidi is a former board member, and we appreciated her service on the chamber board. And Taste is a past recipient of one of our Business Excellence Awards. So Heidi.
Hello, hi friends at home. Miss seeing you. In October 2019, a unique business opened in South Haven when Ralph Lucius opened Rocket Arcade. Rocket Arcade's mission is to bring fun, safe, and affordable entertainment to people of all ages by playing, learning, and shopping a unique collection of retro arcade games, pinball, and amusements. My husband and sons love it. If you ask him why a retro arcade, he might tell you how he grew up during the classic arcade culture with idols like Evel Knievel and the $6 Million Man. His days were spent free-range cruising on bikes or going on grand Dungeons and Dragons adventures in the basement. But most of all, he considers himself one of the original vintage arcade rats, meaning it was impossible for him to pass an arcade without playing and feeding quarters into the machines. Ralph brings a strong marketing background, but even better is his impressive skill with refurbishing and repairing vintage machines and equipment. Rocket Arcade currently has over 60 retro pinball and classic video games from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, along with coin-operated games like air hockey, foosball, Star Wars, and Jurassic Park. Family is most important to Ralph. He credits his wife, Christine, and sons Dorian and Joshua with lending to his success. We are pleased to honor Rocket Arcade, our new Business of the Year award.
Our next award is going to be presented by our new city manager, Kate Hosier, and she's also on our board of directors. So, Kate.
Good evening. For 31 years, he's been strongly devoted to serving our community, to the point of even putting his life on the line several times. Ron Wise has joined the South Haven Area Emergency Services in 1989 and has served as the executive director since 2008. He obtained an associate degree in fire science and certifications as a paramedic, firefighter 2, fire officer, and fire instruction. Proudly following a family tradition, Ron's grandfather, chief of the Niles Township Fire Department, and his father, Doug, now in his 80s, still goes on calls, but mostly as an advisory role, although he is still known to get his hands dirty. Ron's twin brother, Don, is a captain with Niles City Fire Department, and older brother, Robert, is serving as a police officer in South Bend. Ron and Doug are both ropes and knots experts, so they're typically testing cadets at the ropes and knots station. Ron's guidance at the Shays Authority is noteworthy. It is It's a successful formation, and continued management is an example of intergovernmental cooperation at its best. It's the envy of communities throughout the state, and there's no one who deserves more to kick back, enjoy fishing and camping than Chief Ron Wise. We're pleased to honor Chief Ron Wise with the Excellence in Leadership Award. This is okay, right? You love being here in Hawaii. This is perfect.
So it is quite sad. They were supposed to be on a very special anniversary trip to Hawaii, but due to, you know what, the COVID, they're here getting an award. It's so much better. And we have cookies. And that's why he had that cool shirt on. Anyway, Brandy Key from our office is going to present the next award. And it's one that we really find important and special.
Nonprofit organizations often rely on the generosity of volunteers who are willing to share their time and talent to accomplish a variety of tasks. The South Haven Area Chamber of Commerce has had the privilege of working alongside a special volunteer for several years. She has the ability to light up the room when she arrives, and her cheerful attitude makes her delightful to have in the office or on event sites. You will never hear her complain or say, "I can't." We are pleased to recognize Mrs. Alice Meyer as our Volunteer of the Year. Alice enjoyed 52 years of marriage to her dear husband Earl before he passed away in 2007. She has 2 daughters, 3 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. When not at the Chamber of Commerce, Alice spends her time helping her daughter at Martha's Vineyard Bed and Breakfast. Alice also often assists elderly friends and neighbors by simply sharing time with them or driving them to appointments and shopping. But most of all, Alice enjoys spending time with her family. We honor and thank Alice Meyer.
All right, and we have one more award to give away, and we're going to have Deb Davidson come and present this award. Last year, Deb was the recipient of our Lifetime Achievement Award just before she retired from the city, and we're just so glad to have her back. We haven't seen her much. She's been playing so much this summer. So Deb, come on up, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Kathy. Good evening, everyone. Oh, I'm so excited to give this person this award. In the span of 40 years, the recipient of the coveted Lifetime Achievement Award accomplished a great deal. We will only touch on some of it tonight out of respect for your time, so I'll keep it to an hour. She was instrumental in resurrecting the dormant Cowhaven Trail process, working through 2 years of government red tape, you know how that is, to get things moving. Nick Midall will concur. Once the trail was on everyone's radar, supportive groups joined the committee and Friends of the Cowhaven Trail commenced. She was appointed by Governor John Engler to the Michigan Travel Commission. She worked to begin the Southwest Michigan Tourist Association and chaired the group for 2 years. She served as treasurer for the South Haven Area Chamber of Commerce for 2 years. She was treasurer for South Haven Habitat for Humanity, instrumental in joining Pawpaw Habitat with South Haven to form Van Buren Habitat, then served as vice chair of that organization for 5 years. She also served on the State of Michigan Habitat Board. She was a trustee at the First Congregational Church and treasurer, and became moderator for 2 years at the church. She served on the Michigan Tourism United Board. She served on the board of the Community Corrections Advisory Board for Van Buren County. She served as secretary of the Citizens Mediation Services, Civil Mediations. She chaired the National Blueberry Festival from 1980 to 1983. And somewhere in there, she managed to finish her college education in 1990. I am proud to recognize the recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award to Jackie Coles.
You can't be recognized for an award like that. Don't go away and not start working right away. I'm going to have her draw. We've got a giant TV to get out of our office. So I'm going to have you draw the winner. Okay? Here we go. So if you're at home, I know it's exciting. Oh, boy. Wait, we have a drum set. I should go play that. All right, here we go. It's a smart TV. You'll have to take classes to learn how to run it. Okay. Who do we have? Carl Ketch. Oh, my goodness. Carl Kelch watching in Florida with his real wife, Patricia. Lori, you're going to have to come and get this thing. It's huge. Or send a crew, yes. Well, congratulations, and that's awesome. Thank you all for watching tonight. If you're at home in your jammies, now I don't know what comes on at 8 o'clock, but I'm sure it's something just amazing, like Dancing with the Stars or something. But those of you who are here, it's just great to have you here, and I want to congratulate our winners. You were all nominated by folks who just revere what you're doing. They admire your work and your effort. Don't think it's unnoticed at any point. And even if you're retiring and not going to be here working anymore, you're not forgotten. So thanks for being here, and we'll look forward to next year having a party. Thanks a lot.